Hello there. I can't afford it. How many times have you found yourself saying that, thinking it, texting it, messaging it? I can't afford it. And I say this as someone, one, who has said it herself, who knows how many times, until I realize the danger of it. And two, I have a lot of coaching clients and I have a lot of people who are not coaching clients who said, I can't afford it. And it doesn't really matter. It's not about the price. So we're going to talk about this. And this is not about coaching. This is about helping you understand the damage of uttering those words or thinking those thoughts. Okay, go ahead and say it with me. We're going to change it so we repair the damage. But say, I can't afford it. Think of something that you'd like to do. A program, a trip, a product, an item. I can't afford it. Something you want. Okay? Doesn't feel very good. Let's talk about the 4 things that happen. Number 1, when you say something like that, I can't afford it, you're literally giving your subconscious an instruction, right? Like, this isn't for us. We don't get it. That doesn't feel very good, does it? Number 2, biologically, when you say or think something that doesn't make you feel good, what happens? Your brain produces neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters, because they're related to stress and fear and not being happy that you can't afford something, are going to lead right to putting you in fight or flight. That's going to activate your sympathetic nervous system. We cannot manifest from a activated sympathetic nervous system. Okay? Also, saying that statement lowers your frequency. Right? Emotions and frequency are very closely aligned, but I like to explain it in both ways, just so, maybe one way sets better with you. But saying something like, I can't afford it, really low vibe, really low vibe. Okay? So it does that. And then the 4th thing it does is it strengthens the neural network that you have in your brain that tells you there's not enough, I can't afford it, life is scary, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So uttering that statement or many statements like it is very, very detrimental. It's detrimental. So we can switch it, but I want to go a little bit further. So let's start with switching it. How about the affirmation? And say this with me and see how it feels to you. I can afford whatever is for my highest and greatest good. I can afford whatever is for my highest and greatest good. Doesn't that feel better? Whenever you catch yourself saying something or thinking something, you can do, I think it was Napoleon Hill. No, was it Napoleon Hill or Jose Silva, the mind control guy? Whoever, you could say cancel, cancel. But I don't think it's enough just to cancel, cancel. I think we need to replace. So if you catch yourself going, oh, I wish I could afford that. When you see all the people on Instagram showing off all their amazing things, oh, I can't afford that. Cancel it out and say, I can afford whatever's for my greatest and highest good. And honestly, this is not a motivational pep talk here. Honestly, if something comes across your level of awareness and it inspires you, desire is amplified and activated. If it inspires you, there's a desire in there. And so for you to jump the gun and say, I can't afford it, this isn't for me, you're actually like gut punching the universe, because the universe is showing you something that is in your field of awareness that is absolutely open to you. Absolutely. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. We live in a conscious, vibrational universe. And if it wasn't available to you, it wouldn't show up in your field of awareness. And if it does show up, when it does show up in your field of awareness, for you to say, and respond with the negative energy, what do you think that's going to do? Oh, she doesn't want that. That's what the universe is going to say. But instead, if you make a statement like, I can pay for whatever is in my highest and greatest good. Not only does it change on the energetic psychological, subconscious, neural network, and biological, I mean, it changes on all that, then your brain is ready to help you. And so some of the questions, and I'm going to look because I wrote them down. One of the most important ones is, will this serve my highest and greatest good? Because remember, we said I can pay for whatever serves my highest and greatest good. But I want you to ask yourself that. Will this serve my highest and greatest good? And the reason I say that is because, gosh, all these years, I've been coaching since way before Facebook was around. So many people want money. That's the thing, right? They want money. But it's really what the money can give them. And so we are so programmed and conditioned as a society to think money's where it's at. We got to get money, 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 money. But that's not connecting with your superconscious self. Your superconscious self wants you to create something. It doesn't want you just to win the lottery and have, $10 billion and just sit there and do nothing all day. You're on this planet to be much more creative than that. Okay, yeah, it would be nice for a while, but I promise you, you find much more satisfaction when you create and accomplish things. That's the expansion. Create, expand, that's what it's all about. Anyway, so you're telling your brain, you're asking your brain questions, and usually we ask questions like, how could I be so dumb? Or why am I such an idiot? Or why don't I have money? Those are the wrong questions, because questions make your brain say, oh, I got to answer. So if I ask myself, why am I so broke all the time? My brain is going to kick back, you're not good with money, you don't have enough clients, whatever, right? So now this is the time where we're going to ask our brain productive, positively productive questions. For example, what's one way I could pay for this? Is this in alignment with my highest and greatest good? In other words, what we just talked about with money. Do you really want this thing? Is there something I can do? When you start asking those questions, and we've gotten out of the sympathetic response, you're not in fight or flight, and you're relaxed, and you're addressing this productively, now your brain is going to say, oh, okay, and then maybe a payment plan comes up. Maybe a new client walks in and it's exact amount, and I have seen this so many times, the exact amount for that vacation or that coaching program or, that new house. It happens, but it's never going to happen. Hear this, it's never going to happen from a state of stress. It's never going to happen from a state of scarcity. It's never going to happen from a state of self-doubt. And if and when it does anyway, it's not going to be good, or it's not going to last. I don't think I have to tell you that something like 85% of all lotto winners end up worse off, not just the same, but worse off, like bankrupt, after winning millions of dollars. How could that even happen? It's because they wanted, first of all, this is my opinion, they wanted it from the wrong space. They wanted it as a way to compensate for not feeling good enough. But they managed to keep their frequency at a level that was resonant, in alignment with that win. So in other words, they employed the law of attraction effectively, and they got the money. But then, because they didn't put their attention and energy on what they were going to do with the money and the joy and gratitude of having the money, and all of a sudden the self-doubts come up, the scarcity comes up, the lack comes up. They were using the money to make themselves feel like a more whole person. That's just my opinion. And I've read a lot about this, and I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and this is just my opinion. No science to back that up. But there is something to it when that number of people who win the lottery lose it. It just makes no logical sense. But it's because they weren't in the right space. They weren't energetically or subconsciously, they were not in the right space to have that amount of money. Okay, so no more I can't afford it. You are going to change that. You are going to change that, and you are going to go into a calmer state, and you are going to say something to the effect of, I can pay for this if it's for my highest and greatest good. And if it's not my highest and greatest good right now, maybe it will be later. You will be amazed if you can just implement this small thing. You will be amazed over time how fast things shift for you. We have to start paying attention to how we speak to ourselves and about ourselves. Words are vibrations. Thoughts are vibrations. Emotions are vibrations. So these all need to be in alignment with your true desire, not what you think you want to compensate for what you think you lack. I'll do another video on that. That's a whole other deal, but it's so important. Okay, so hopefully you found that helpful. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching. Check the links below. If I can help you in any way, I am happy to. Bye-bye for now.